Welcome everyone in this new live development video about building an auto chess game. In this video we're going to update our player ready system so that it's a little bit more polished. So we're going to have some kind of timer and that's about it. We're going to have some kind of timer, and maybe it's going to disable unchecking stuff and disable unchecking the ready box if the start game process has been started. So, and we also want to get rid of those prints. So if we open up our game instance, we're going to say, so this is network, but the last print were in the player state, if I'm not mistaken. Where do we have debug should show debug, yeah. Battlefield, BP units, game instance, print debug. Maybe we have some which are not tagged. No, we don't. In the outgame player controller, current feature, I guess this is the one we were looking for. So this is just network. So we don't have any new prints. So we're going to make it so when someone's there, if I press that, we're going to have some kind of timer, and we're going to be able to uncheck the checkbox while the timer is running, and when the timer is up we won't be able to anymore, and we're going to have some kind of loading, and then it's going to switch levels. So for that we're going to need to go to our outgame lobby, multiplayer lobby, and we're going to add a timer there. And where are we going to add it? I guess at the top of it, or above return, I guess. We're going to do it real simple for now, and actually for the purpose of that tutorial. So we want it to be, yeah, like above. Game start game will start in 5, like this. For instance, we're going to make that italic. I don't know why. Game will start in 5. So it's going to be hidden by default. It's going to be a variable text ready counter countdown text game start countdown, like this. So if it's hidden by default we won't see it there. Yep. And we have some kind of logic modification to do. In our game mode we had in our outgame mode, I guess, we had the logic to set player ready and stuff like that, and actually we're going to put that in our OutGameState. So we need an OutGameState. I'm going to do folders for that. We're gonna have modes, or rather outgame and in-game, and we'll do the same thing for the player, outgame and in-game, because it's starting to look a little bit hard to find what we want, especially since we chose names so long. That wasn't maybe the best call we had, but hey, doesn't matter. At that stage we're going to deal with it. So we're going to move them in their proper folder location. Outgame mode, like this. So we need an outgame game state, BP auto battler outgame state, like this. We want to put that in our outgame mode, outgame folder, or maybe we're going to rename them. If we search everything which call auto battlers, I think we're going to rename everything. So BP camera character, BP game instance. So that might create some bug at some place, we'll see. BP game mode. What is that one? Game state, BP game states. Auto battler in-game mode, BP in-game mode. Auto battler out-game mode, BP out-game mode. Auto battler out-game state, BP out-game state. BP player controller, BP in-game controller. And what is that one? Out-game, BP out-game controller. And finally BP player state, like this. In-game controller, out-game player state. That's actually, yeah, that's it. And in here we have in-game mode and out-game state. Easier to parse. We're just going to make sure we don't have any redirectors. It didn't create any redirectors. I don't want preview mesh collection, I want redirectors. We do have, we're going to fix them up like this. And then we're going to reset our filters, open up our project settings, go to maps and mods, and make sure we still have our stuff referenced here, which is the case. We're going to compile, hit play. So, it doesn't work anymore. Create game doesn't work anymore. Get game instance ref. So the game instance, we're going to go to project settings, map and mods, clear that, and put that back here. Hit play, create game. Okay, so it's better now. It lost track of the game instance for some reason. Yeah, okay, so everything works fine apart from what we just modified. So we want to move some logic from the outGame mode to the outGame state, because the outGame mode only exists on server and the outGame state exists everywhere. And the outGame mode does some logic which could be done also by the clients, because that way we don't have to replicate when the counter starts, because everyone is going to calculate if it needs to start or not based on that. So we're going to copy that and paste that here on PlayerReady, and we're going to have the same kind of parameters, player name and ready status. So player name and ready status, like this. We're going to paste that here. So what do we want to add here? We want to add this with that. We want to promote that to a variable, player ready status. We want also to promote the required player amount to a variable. Can start working to create a local variable and compile once again. And we only want to, so on game start, it's not on game start, launch start counts down, like this. So we want to launch start countdown now. Instead of doing this, we're going to copy and paste that here. I don't think we're going to call that in here, but in order to keep it, we're going to make it like this. So on PlayerReady, so we have nothing there. We can delete the branch. On PlayerReady, we can grab wherever it is called in the outGame player state. So instead of doing this, we want to get the game states and cast it into our outGame states and call on PlayerReady. So everyone is going to receive that information. Everyone is going to execute that piece of code. So we want to plug that in here and that there, like this. So on PlayerReady, we're going to start launch countdown, and we're going to print, for now, in the current feature category, we're going to print something dumb. And we're going to make it so we're always in multiplayer. So if I press ready and the other player presses ready, nothing happens. So that's kind of unfortunate. I want to check real quick if I didn't made a mistake there. Current features, I always want to display it. So it's not being called because we don't have the OutGameState, I think. So if we open up our OutGame mod, is it using our OutGameState? No, it is not. So we are going to use our OutGameState. Hit play. So if I'm ready and if that player is ready, nothing happens. Outgame mode, we are using that. So on player ready. So we want 2 players. Player ready status, it's empty. I think it just came from there, the problem. So I'm ready and I'm ready. So we have our little stuff spawning there, our print screen. So I closed all, but I want the outgame state. So launch start countdown. What do we want to do now? I think we want to communicate with the HUD in one way or another to tell it to start the countdown. So we're going to open up our browser, our lobby I meant, multiplayer lobby. We're going to have a new function called start countdown. It's going to grab the game start countdown and set the text, and we're going to put that in an horizontal box. No, we're not. No, we're not. So what is the text? What is the text about? Build countdown text. It's going to return a text, and it's going to take a float into parameters, maybe an int in seconds. Return value like this. It's going to be a pure function. We're going to build a string with this. Game starts in space integer 3 dots. We're going to return this. Start countdown, build countdown texts, and we're going to receive that information from the game states like this. And we're also going to have stop countdown, which is going to hide the text. And we are also going to show it when we start the countdown, and we're going to put that in the proper category. Countdown, entries, and ready. Like this. So we want to be calling this, and we have another function which is reduce count down, which is going to trigger itself as long as countdown is not over. So we're going to set a timer by event in 1 second. We're going to create and reduce countdown like this, and we want to copy that and paste that here. And I think start countdown, we're going to store that into a variable, the countdown duration. Max countdown and current countdown. And we want to store that into the variable as well, like this. And when we reduce the countdown, we say reduce that. And we actually want to do this, but we're going to do it in a much more clever way. We're going to put that in here. We want to make it self-it test invisible. We want to promote that to a function. Update countdown like this, and we want to be calling it here, and we want to rerun that event. If countdown not equal to 0. Like this. If it's not equal to 0, we're going to restart it one way or another. And so we need to trigger that event from the OutGameState. So we have a bunch of ways to do this. But I'm not sure if we want to grab our player controller and if we want to be calling this on it directly, because we could be doing something like get player controller cast to outgame player controller and get outgame menu ref get lobby brother. That's really nuts. That's not the way you would like to do it. But for now we'll see what it does. Start countdown, lobby browser, we want the multiplayer lobby. We don't want to set it, we want to get lobby. Get multiplayer lobby, start countdown, and like 5 seconds for instance. So if we hit play, if I'm ready and he's ready, game starts in okay, so we have it here. We're going to collapse that to a function, get multiplayer lobby. We're going to make that a pure function, and it's going to this is going to be a return value. Like this, start countdown. And on PlayerReady, if we can't start, we're going to stop start countdown like this. So when we start it, we're going to set timer by event, and it's going to be start game, create event, and we're going to need to, when we start the countdown, this is going to be a variable, countdown duration, which we're going to use in that as well. Start game. When we start game, we want to do this, but only on server authority, like this. And we want to store that counter into a variable. Start game countdown, like this. So when not all players are ready, if we have a timer there, we're going to clear it and invalidate it, and we're going to grab our multiplayer lobby and we're going to say stop countdown. So if we hit play, I'm ready, is ready, but actually no, we're not ready. So it sounds like it's working. And it doesn't work here because we are not in the proper setup, but it's working. If we remove if we open up our game instance and remove the multiplayer setup, it's gonna work. So we want to do something like hiding everything when the game starts. Update countdown, start countdown, reduce countdown, on countdown over. We want to be calling this when we reduce it to 0. So when countdown is over, we're going to grab our player controller, our owning player, and I think we have a command to clear all widget, but I'm not sure. No, we don't. Remove widget. No, we don't have this. So when the countdown is over, we want to hide everything, for instance. So we're going to cast that into our OutGame controller. We're going to get OutGame menu, and we're going to remove that from parent. And we'll see what it does. So I'm ready, is ready, game's gonna start. Like this, okay. Okay, so it works fine. And I think it's gonna wrap up that video because we improved. We're just gonna make sure it works if we remove the multiplayer boolean, but I think it's just gonna work right away. So I think it's gonna wrap up that video because we improved the ready system as we wanted to. So I'm ready, it's ready, game is gonna start. No more widgets, and we are in the game. So it's working fine. So we're just gonna check where we put debug stuff. So we put them in the right category. Apparently we removed them all, so we're fine. We're just gonna put that in the proper categories, and we're gonna be fine. Utilities, and that's it. So this video is over. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.